Recently, the bill seeking transfer of the minimum wage from exclusive list to concurrent list scaled through second reading, which means that the state governors and state labor leaders will determine the average of what workers will earn monthly. Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week's edition of the program, we'll further discuss about the plight of workers, especially workers at the local government level who don't earn up to 8,000 naira at minimum wage in some states. We will be right back.
The Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, has said its yearly Employers Excellence Award has been established to celebrate organizations that have implemented policies, systems, and processes that create and sustain enterprise competitiveness, productivity, industrial peace, and harmony. Director General of NECA, Dr. Timothy Olawale, at the press briefing said the objective of the Excellence Award, which is first of its kind, was to celebrate the resilience and doggedness of Nigerian enterprises and to encourage best practices and responsible enterprises for others to emulate. NECA DG said the award would be sector-based, with a winner emerging from each sector of the economy, while the Employer of the Year would be selected from the winners by a panel of jury and judges. The criteria for the awards, which is slated to hold on May 26, 2021 in Lagos, include leadership and governance, innovation, productivity and corporate performance, effective human resource management and industrial relations, technology optimization, occupational health and safety, inclusiveness and diversity, as well as responsible business conduct and corporate social responsibility.
The Governing Council decided that, look, this is worthy of doing by virtue of the value add to the society and to organized businesses. And what we started doing was to sensitize our members to get their buy-in in the past 2-3 years. And I want to assure you that several companies also believed in what we are doing and has also indicated that they are going to support within the limits of their capacity.
The minimum wage is a global issue which determines the least pay to be earned by workers. In Nigeria, especially in the northern part of the country, it is observed that some workers do not earn the minimum wage. Several engagements between organized labor, government and employers have not helped. In April 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law 30,000 naira minimum wage, which is about $67. I took a fact-finding trip to the northern part of Nigeria, where I met Sahura Humar, a veterinarian who works in the Department of Agriculture at Safi local government area of Zamfara state. Trained as a public health officer, she tearfully tells me she earns 7,500 naira and has been on level 3 for 10 years.
We feel very happy now when the government increased the salary for us. The minimum wage of 30,000 naira. 7,500. That's what they give me every month.
I do go to the farm and other things, struggling up and down, finding one thing or the other to see that I can live with my family and sponsor my children to school and clothing and even provide health. Because I don't have enough money that I will sponsor. I take my children to private school. My children go to private school because I don't have money. I try as much as possible. Those that have finished their secondary school, I take them to COE or any other polytechnics so that I can be able to at least try as much as possible to see that, yes, I pay their school fees. And most of the school fees I used to pay, I either go for loan or I sell my farm product. Then at the end of the year to pay my school fees for those children, for my children that are in COE.
Rabiu Munir, an administrative staff of Bangudu local government area of Zamfara state, says he is a level 13 officer.
So actually,
he tells me he earns 27,000 naira, which is about $58, having spent 20 years in service. Okay, so can you tell me?
If you are assessing poverty, you can see it right now for me. I spent almost 20 years in service, but up to now I'm managing myself. I don't have electricity. It is difficult for me to feed myself in a day. Looking at that issue, if you go to our neighboring state like Katsina, somebody in my grade level can receive more than 70,000 in a month. But look at me here, I'm receiving 27,000 per month. You see the difference is clear. There is gap.
Here is a chart of Rabiu's monthly expenses. From Zamfara to Sokoto and Niger states, as well as others across the country, the story is the same, with slight differences at the local government level. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics (NBS), the country's inflation rate jumped to 17.33% in February 2021, the highest since February 2017. It jumped from the 16.47% recorded in January and compared to market forecast of 17.27%. It marks the 18th consecutive month of rising inflation as the coronavirus pandemic led to a plunge in oil prices and a weaker naira. This has raised food and transportation costs. Food inflation topped 21.79%, the highest since October 2005, and air transportation costs surged to 14.1%. In a reaction, the vice chairman of the Nigeria's Governors Forum and Sokoto State helmsman, Aminu Tambuwa, says some of the workers are unscheduled staff. Governor Tambuwal said in Sokoto precisely, there are efforts in place to engage workers properly so that they can earn justified wages.
You rather found them running concurrently with the permanent staff and then the term them unscheduled and scheduled staff. So I think it was possibly a well-intended program, but not properly structured and implemented. And that's why we're trying to see how best. I've assured them that we're not going to lay off people, but we, at the end of the day, are going to make sure that we have first the scheduled staff restored fully. And then we now discuss and engage with unscheduled and see if we are going to run a social investment program, or those of them who have the papers to go back to school, we put them on scholarship because we give our children in Sokoto State scholarship.
In the federal government imposing the national minimum wage when the resources available.
The bill seeking transfer of minimum wage from the exclusive to the concurrent legislative list has brought diverse reactions after scaling second reading at the House of Representatives. This led to a meeting between organized labor and the lower legislative chamber. For workers like Sahura, Rabiu and others who earn less than the approved minimum wage, how they and their families survive remains a miracle, with most of them engaging in farming and other skills.
The workers of Zamfara are not enjoying minimum wage like their colleagues in the other states because of the other reasons that we cannot said it truly from the leadership or from the workforce we have. So an 18,000 salary was being introduced by the federal government in 10 years ago or 15 years ago, which the workers of local government in Zamfara are not yet even to enjoy the 18,000. They have been receiving the minimum wage of 7,800 presently. and now the new minimum wage has come of 30,000. So by God's grace, by having a new government in place in Zamfara state, when it comes, it made this difficult situation for the workers of the local government, because the state workers have been enjoying the 18,000 for the previous administration. So, but when this government come and the new minimum wage introduced of 30,000, and it finds out that the local government, even they are not even enjoying the 18,000. It's only their counterpart of state government have been enjoying the 18,000. So the state government has to put a committee that will look into this situation.
Minimum wage is supposed to be a living wage, but you know, unfortunately, the money is not even enough, considering the high cost of living we are experiencing now. The increase in the tariff of electricity, as you said, the fuel increase, and other basic necessities. My staff have been coping, managing, and that is why we're introducing measures to see if they will engage in farming, so that this farming will complement what they are earning. Because honestly speaking, the minimum wage is not enough to cater for a family.
Able leaders and some other permanent secretary and other prominent peoples to sit and discuss about the issue of minimum wage, to look way that the 30,000 naira minimum wage should be implemented to the workers of Sokoto State. So when the committee has done its work, they agreed that the 30,000 minimum wage should be implemented to all the workers of Sokoto State. So, but there is some issues that are supposed to be done before the implementation. That is the staff verification.
Interview segments this week, I will be speaking with the newly inaugurated National President of the National Union of Local Government Employees. It tells me the several challenges local government workers are faced with and why the minimum wage issue has to remain on the exclusive list. We will be right back. Welcome to the program, and congratulations on your election, which was successful. We wish you success in the next few years, which you'll be leading the union.
Thank you, Madam.
A lot is happening in the space of work right now as we speak, but particularly there's this issue of the national minimum wage. And at the local government level, it's observed that there are some state governments that are yet to implement the approved minimum wage signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in April 2019. How would you react to this?
Well, it's unfortunate that some governors deliberately refuse to bring smiles to the suffering workers in their state, especially the local government workers. Some include the teachers, and you can see that this speaks volumes about their priority about education of our wardens. And also, when you look at the issue of minimum wage, in Nigeria, what does it translate to? 30,000, 1,000 per day in this modern day economy of Nigeria. And how do you divide 1,000 per day, which means you can only take maybe 2 wraps of amala, however. You take water, and you may not even be able to eat any meat. And you are saying an average worker does not deserve that. This will rub off on the productivity level. It will speak volume about their health. It will also affect their psyche, because the essence of fixing national minimum wage is to provide a cover, a social net for the suffering workers. Because we know that among the vulnerable in the society, workers across the globe are also included. So for us, for ILO, which Nigeria deposed to, their charter of ILO that says minimum wage should be the baseline of remuneration for workers, is does not even come by accident. And they claim that some states, some federal states across the globe are no longer paying minimum wage, and Nigeria should be allowed to fix their minimum wage at the state level. It's incorrect. We are aware that out of 100 federal states, we have over 70 that are on national minimum wage. Even America, even Britain, they are on national minimum wage. You realize that despite this claim by these our politicians who only think about themselves alone, you realize that they are also taking the same salary from Lagos to Zamfara, from Sokoto to Parakot, while oil-rich city of Parakot is paying their honorables are entitled to federal, let me say it, to the same uniform minimum wage for the politicians. They are not also paying the same thing to their workers, which shows it's not because they can't afford to pay, but they deliberately deny workers this right. And they are doing themselves. Because how do you expect a worker to survive in this harsh economy if you are not paying minimum? That is why they are resorting to farming, they are resorting to other menial jobs, and this will tell on the productivity level at their state differently. So we want to continuously engage them to ensure that they see the need to prioritize minimum wage and workers' welfare. You cannot continuously embark on gigantic projects, at times needless projects for that matter, while you neglect human capital development. Any country that embark on that is not getting it right.
Still on minimum wage. We are aware that there's this bill that has been proposed at the House of Representatives that has moved to the second reading. It scaled through second reading recently, and it suggests that the minimum wage issues should be moved from exclusive list to concurrent list. What implications will this have if the bill is being signed into law?
Well, NULGE, as a responsible union, joined the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress to register our opposition to this bill. This bill, we believe, is surreptitiously sponsored by the political activists in the state who has been involved in this continuous attempt to enslave Nigerian workers. For example, workers are paid under wage commission, whereby salary commission, whereby the politician are paid directly from revenue mobilization and fiscal account. So if we want equity, the two bodies should earn their salary from the same source. An attempt for any governor to just sit down and fix his own salary arbitrarily, fix salaries of his cronies, political appointees, is not fair, it's not normal. So if we are saying that states cannot afford to pay minimum wage for workers, how can states afford to pay political jobbers who are more or less doing nothing at various state level? So for us, those governors who are agitating for decentralization of salary, they must also agitate that their own salary should be decentralized. Let's allow federal representative honorable who hail from Makomi, Ijebu-Ode, Makomi, Aton, and Ijebu federal constituency to be paid his salary from Abigi. Let the local government fix their own salary, so that all of us will realize that it is equal and there is equality in what we are talking about. You cannot be changing the goalposts. You are representing Abigi people. You want Abigi local government to fix their salary, to decentralize it, and you want Abuja to fix your own salary. Is that equitable? Is that just? Is that fair? So for us, they are only trying to continuously amass wealth to themselves, and they also want to have liberty to pay slave wages to Nigerian workers. That is why Labour rose up and engaged the National Assembly on this, and we have received firm commitment that this bill will not sail through. It's unfortunate that somebody is being used as a Judas Iscariot in the National Assembly to sponsor anti-workers bill, anti-people bill.
Okay, very quickly, we know that you represented the local government workers, and right now we still have quite a number of states that are yet to implement the national minimum wage at that level. Now that the bill is still, not the bill, minimum wage issues are still placed on exclusive list. What do you imagine it to be like if it is moved to the concurrent list?
Yes, you have put that right. Even once it's still on the exclusive legislative list, and some of them are still behaving like demigods, and you want to now move it to concurrent list, what will happen? It shows workers will not be paid salary. It shows an average governor will be at liberty to even pay peanuts. They may also refuse to pay indefinitely. And this will create chaos. It will create industrial dispute, and it will affect the productivity level of Nigerians. So for anybody that meant good for Nigeria, he should join workers to ensure minimum wage is retained on exclusive legislative list.
So are you saying now that apart from it being retained, are you saying now that there should not be any penalty for state governments that refuse to pay the national minimum wage?
You see, the problem in Nigeria, we have always been saying it. The issue of immunity to governors is needless. Even now, if they refuse to pay, the governor is isolated. You can't take him to court. Even if you take the government to court, it's not a person, it's not him that is directly affected. And you can see this injustice when a governor will continuously take his own salary, at times by 24th of the month. Despite the available opportunities to him as a governor. Free meal, free security vote, that's not accounted for, free government house, free security everywhere, wardrobe allowance. And yes, somebody like that will still have the conscience to deny workers their minimum wage and even deny pensioners their entitlement. You can see the kind of politician we are having presently in Nigeria. Our founding fathers never thought it would be this worst. So for us, even if you have sanction, without the temerity and the will of labor leaders, we may not be getting it right. So we will continuously engage them. Labor must come out and engage them, and we are ready to engage them, so that the only language they understand is strike and strike alone. But it's not, strike does not do anybody any good. But you cannot continue to pauperize people, you cannot continue to enslave them, and you still wish them to keep quiet. So to those governors who have refused to pay minimum wage, at the next National Executive Council of NLC, NULGE will also spearhead the clamor to engage them headlong to ensure our workers are paid.
Moving forward, NULGE threatened to embark on a national industrial action. That means 774 local governments might be shut down because of a bill to scrap the local governments that was proposed recently at the House of Representatives. Can you bring us up to speed on this?
Okay. Well, thank you. We woke up recently and we were shocked that in this modern day Nigeria, an House of Rep who emerged from local government, who is being sponsored and nominated by a governor, Nelson Wike, who happened to be a former chairman of local government, can wake up from the wrong side of the bed and sponsor a killer bill against local government system as a tier of government. This is unbelievable. The man is attempting to take Nigeria back to pre-1914 era, because local government has been in existence as a native authority before the amalgamation of Nigeria. If we are talking about delisting any arms of government, it should be the state, who only happen as a middleman, that has not impacted heavily on the lives of Nigerian people. Let me go into specifics. In Nigeria, by our own demographic survey, over 70% of Nigerians reside within the rural area. That is the local government. And if you are saying you want a politics of inclusiveness, you must give a platform for local government people, the rural dwellers, to have a voice in governance. If you want people to have a sense of patriotism, to believe in the country, you need a vibrant local government system. But what are we witnessing now is a sharp departure from the normals. When local government that supposed to bring dividends of democracy to Nigerian people are pauperized, are raped, their resources are raped deliberately by the political elites at the state level from the governors. Let there be EFCC offices in all local government level, but give direct funding to local government. Give us our money. If money has been appropriated to local government for the federation account, we don't need somebody who will have to be a middleman, who will put the money in the right pocket and the money will disappear and will only bring out a party from the left pocket. And if you are able to do that, the benefit is this: local government will be able to employ people directly. The issue of unemployment will reduce. Local government will be able to develop skills in women. There are times when we do vocational skill acquisition at local government level for women and youth. And once we are able to do that, we will provide gainful employment to them. We will grow the local economy. Local government in the past happened to have security meeting every Monday, whereby all stakeholders in local government will come together. The Fulani leaders will be there, the Hausa leaders will be there, the Jaw and the Robo will be there. They will meet in the office of the chairman of local government, whereby they discuss security issues. We have security agents also there. If there is a problem brewing somewhere, they will tell the chairman, we are suspending, this is happening. Let us attend to it. So in the past, when we have autonomous local government system, this insecurity, banditry is virtually non-existent. So if we want to address that, we must give complete autonomy to local government, political autonomy, allow local government to choose their leaders, allow them to conduct local government election, and remove this aberration called caretaker. How can an elected person wake up one day and sack elected leaders in local government and put his appointee? And this election they are saying that is currently being witnessed is not an election. It is coronation and promotion. So if we want to get it right in local government, there must be free, credible and fair election at local government level. Once we get it right in local government level, we'll get it right in Nigeria. And let me also say, local government in the past happened to be the breeding, that's the breeding center for political leaders. If you want to become a governor, you want to become a commissioner, you want to become a minister, you will have been trained at local government level. If you perform very well in local government level, you move to the next level. But now that you just see somebody who has no basic skill, who has not administered public offices before, just cross over from somewhere and become a governor, become a minister, become a president. What happened to him? We commend President Muhammad Buhari because in the beginning, he has a very good mission. He wanted local government to be autonomous. Why did he do that? He lived in Daura after he exited office during that time. And he realized that local government that he used to know, that provide maternity centers, borehole, tar roads, provide transformer electrification, and also provide employment, is no longer there because of the greed of the present political leader.
Thank you very much for your time. Of course, we still need to engage more to know the yearnings, what people at the local government would actually need. And that's all we can take on to this edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.